people obey. I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kinda patient, cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It is Thursday. It's about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I've got all kinds of stuff to cover today. And I've been trading this morning. I just closed out a couple of trades, a few $100. I think I had 2 trades going. I had a couple shorts. I'm going to show you a little bit of technical analysis. I'm going to show you some stuff about Charles Hoskinson. And I'm going to show you some stuff about Iagon. There's some stuff happening with Iagon and Nuvola, kind of catching me off guard. I've got a sponsored segment with Mevalaxy. It sounds like a fiber supplement, but it is financial staking. Oh my gosh, this is what that setting is. I just had this new setting, show comments on stage. So now I can show all of your comments. This is cool, finally. So yeah, I'm happy about that, because I don't like having to manually randomly click through. But Jason Beatty was first in chat. It just said Kevin. I don't know. And my light is weird, probably because I have my blinds down. I'm not sure. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and dive right into some of this stuff, because there's a lot of things I want to cover. One of the first things that I want to cover today is, of course, Charles Hoskinson. Cardano, the audit clarifies 99.7% of ADA vouchers have been redeemed. Here's where the 0.3% goes. Now, I'm not going to dive through all of this, but basically what happened was, of course, Charles has a lot of trolls. He has a lot of haters. We all do. Typically, it's a part of some tribalism between projects. And, this guy owns a whole bunch of this token and looks at Cardano as a competitor, so they try to FUD it. They try to FUD Charles, all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, the world of crypto is a crazy place. But they basically tried to say that Charles did a bunch of dishonest stuff with a lot of the redemption vouchers associated with its token launch in Japan. And of course, Charles was like, this is all bullshit. I'm going to sue you. You can't say stuff like this. This is insane. I even personally had talks with people that worked for Charles at the time, who flat out said, Charles did nothing wrong. This is nuts. And the fact that people can get away with doing this kind of stuff. And I'm talking about people that weren't necessarily fans of Charles at the time either. They were just kind of but he was like, listen, Charles did absolutely nothing wrong. This is bogus. And so, and because, I've always been a fan of Charles, and I've had my ups and downs with Charles, but I mean, that's human nature, honestly, is the way I look at it. And, I kind of call it as I see it, right? It's how I've always been, and it's never going to change. It's like I have my opinion, and, it is what it is. You don't have to like it. Opinions are like assholes. We all have them, and some of them smell bad. So it is what it is. But people to put stuff like this out on the internet to try and defame somebody or cast an illegal light on somebody is pretty atrocious. I mean, that's where you're really crossing significant lines. People make up shit all the time about random people because it's the internet, right? Everybody thinks they're anonymous. They can get away with it. The internet's nowhere near as anonymous as a lot of these goofballs think they are. But in this case, they did an audit. Charles promised an audit, and he said, you guys are going to have an audit. And it came out, and it basically redeemed Charles through and through. I mean, it's basically there was nothing wrong with anything that happened. Nobody was screwed over. All the claims were bogus. So, once again, Charles is having to defend his integrity. People can say what they want about Charles. I mean, and it's you can have a conflict of opinion or personality even, or whatever, but to go after somebody's integrity when they're basically the the creator, the founder of what is effectively going to be a global blockchain used in finance and everything else, that really does have some significant ramifications. And quite honestly, under those instances, I would say, there was a time when I was on a panel at a conference, and it was a panel, you guys probably remember, where BitBoy and was in this really heated argument with this woman who was basically saying, you're a scammer, you're this, you're that. And Ben was getting super heated. And at one point we were all sitting down, and, the security came and they were like, do you want us to get rid of her? And at first Ben was like, yeah, get her out of here. Get her out of here. And I was like, Ben, I'm like, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. And I'm like, just leave her alone. Let her stay. It's done. It's fine. And he did. He was like, never mind. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And it's like, sometimes when we're caught up in a moment, we need some levity. We need another voice that basically brings us back down to earth a little and just says, listen, this is the bigger picture here. This particular instance or situation isn't worth blowing up into something bigger, right? But honestly, even I am like, Charles should definitely go after these people. I mean, I was uncertain because you just never know, right? 100%. Anything like this can cast doubt in our eyes. But yeah, Charles was totally innocent. He did nothing wrong. And I really do think that, it's kind of like, the people out there that, the question is like, should a woman be criminalized if she's making false our claims against a man, right? And it's like, yeah, I think she should. I think, if you're going to make claims that somebody did something to you that never happened, because oftentimes these women win these cases. I mean, the whole world, especially, the whole world's against men nowadays. I don't know what's happened, but everybody hates men. And so, you get in the right court, if you walk in there with the wrong chromosomes, you're already guilty. I mean, in a lot of cases, and it's disgusting. And I'm like, there are a lot of women out there that abuse the court systems to do whatever they want, whether it's from custody to just criminal. Like, oh, did we hook up and I didn't call you, or maybe I ghosted you and now you're mad and now you're going to say this happened and that happened and it didn't. It wasn't like that. And then you're going to try and get somebody locked up for it. No, I mean, once that's proven, like you should suffer the same penalties. Because there needs to be ramifications for people making false accusations against others, and especially in a day where everything is so litigious. Like everybody wants to sue everybody. Everybody's always trying to go after other people. And yeah, man, I mean, this is one of those things where I think Charles has every right to go after everyone and anyone that basically tried to perpetuate this bullshit. Because I probably would, if I was Charles and I had Charles's resources, I'd probably send it off to the lawyers and say, send me the results when it's done. Because, somebody's got to learn. Now, there's one thing that I want to show you guys. This is Crypto Panic. And I'm like looking at all the news. I was looking up Cardano news, like what's the latest, what's happening. And everything is so bearish right now, right? And I want to show you something else. This is the liquidation heat maps for Bitcoin and Cardano. The one thing is you don't see a lot of liquidity, like bright yellow lines. You don't see a lot of that down here. But when you do get to some of these lines, this is what I would consider a market maker staging. Because if you look at similar, if you look at Bitcoin, you can see you don't have as much of this, right? You have really bright lines. They're all very much different levels of liquidity, different amounts to be liquidated once price reaches that point. And I see a lot of this stuff like 5.14 million, 5.77 million, 5.3 million, 5.8 million, right? You've got these lines between 60 cents down to 50, about 54 cents on Cardano. And, a lot of people are saying, oh, we could get down there, man. Everything is so bearish right now. A lot of people think the top is in. It's not. A lot of people are projecting these narratives around the overall blockchain space, not just Cardano. I just pay attention to Cardano most. And, the reality is maybe we could see 67 cents. This is probably a very valid liquidation profile. But I feel like a lot of this stuff is structured and staged by market makers. And I think a lot of that is to create a sense of, yeah, we could really get this low. We could go down. We could drop from here. Maybe it is real. I don't know. But I know that the market makers play a lot of games. And what's funny is the more I learn about the market maker method and how these algorithms work and how the market makers work, the more I realize that so much of this is like, when they say that the world thinks one thing is going to happen, the opposite does. It's because the more people that think we're going to go short here, well, what happens? They go short and then their liquidations set up here, up top. And it's very that's how the market works. Whatever the majority thinks is going to happen, well, there's a hell of a lot more liquidity to the opposite of that narrative. Okay. So when I see a lot of this stuff, I see all these articles. A lot of this is paid bullshit articles like, oh, Cardano's going down, but check out our token because it's going to go up. That kind of nonsense. There's so much of that shit on Crypto Panic anymore. It's kind of sad. And it's not their fault. They're an aggregator of a variety of different news sites. The news sites themselves are selling these articles. Like you could probably buy them on Fiverr or through brokers and things like that. But anyway, the point is that when the news and everything is bearish, well, that's when a lot of people are betting that things are going to go down. They leave all of their liquidity to the upside, and that's when we get an overnight reversal, right? So I'm going to cover some more news, and I'm going to go over what I think is going to be playing out here over this weekend. Juan Chain, who was my sponsor yesterday, very much appreciative. They're not a sponsor anymore. I'm doing this on my own, but they supported me. And when some of my there are some of my sponsors that pop up here and there that I feel are very like credible sponsors. And then there are some where I'm like, I'm just going to talk about them once, let the world, decide if it's worth it. And Juan Chain's been around forever, man. So I support them fully. And they have just released first ever USD Tether pool, just launched on VeChain. Earn a lucrative 28% APR. There's a link in the description below if you're interested in this. I didn't even realize VeChain was still going. Honestly, I haven't heard anything about VeChain in so long. I actually had some at one point, and I know a guy that I used to talk to all the time. We used to argue back and forth all the time about politics, and he was never right about anything for years. And I was literally right about everything for years, and he finally blocked me. But I know he bought like a bunch of VeChain. I'm pretty sure it was VeChain. Because I think it was like a fraction of a penny or something at the time. And I think he had millions of them. I don't even know what the price is now. I'm hoping that maybe him buying a bunch of VeChain is the one thing he happened to be right about. But I'm sure like after like 4 or 5 boosters and everything else he did while he was telling me I was crazy, I hope he's okay. Like legitimately, I hope he's okay. He's not a bad dude. He's just wrong about everything. And he was extremely passionate with his opinions. Iagon is apparently suing Nuvola. And I actually find this interesting because I actually bought some Nuvola tokens and I was trying to check up on everything because I have all this yield on Nuvola's website. I wasn't able to do anything with any of it. And, because they changed from like an old system to a new system, I guess, and they make it sound like it was so easy, but I'm like, I couldn't do anything. And it was all it's all still there. And I've messaged them many times and they're like, oh, well, if you just go here and, try refreshing and try this. But they never gave me any clear answers on how to pull my damn resources off of there. And I haven't even dove into this whole thing. I was going to look into it with you guys because I don't even know what's happening. Let me double check, make sure. All right. Yeah. Oh, I know. BitBoy's out and he's been doing videos again. And he looks calm as a Hindu cow. And I think that's good. I think whatever he's on right now, obviously prescribed. And if it keeps him level and it keeps him chill, man, not just for like his mental state, but his overall health, man, I probably need some, if I'm honest. I'm always jittery and shaky and tired and excitable, and I'm just all kinds of things. Now, I'm not saying that Nuvola is guilty of anything. I'm not. I don't know. But I find this very interesting that they're having a situation with Iagon because Iagon's getting ready to launch their Cyclone machines. They've even verified my new address and everything recently, saying that these are getting ready to ship. I've been anxiously awaiting these. But noise is made only by those who have no arguments. Yesterday, we initiated legal proceedings against Nuvola for infringement of Iagon's intellectual property, breach of the partnership agreement, and publication of false and misleading statements. Nuvola hired members of a former development team and, according to statements from multiple developers, copied proprietary Iagon code and architecture. We issued multiple written warnings regarding the IP breach prior to serving notice. We will share public filings when appropriate and won't litigate it on social media, except for this. I mean, I guess, isn't that kind of what this is a little bit? I don't know. Nuvola's claims versus the receipts. I'm not going to dive. I don't even know how long this is. This is long. If you're interested in the deep dive, I would suggest maybe just going through this yourself. Hasn't been getting many views, but it's a shame. It's a shame that this, whatever's happening, is happening. Whoever's right or wrong, obviously we're going to know. Like, this is all going to play out in court apparently, and we're going to find out. And I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys know about this? All the files uploaded to a centralized server, unencrypted and unprotected. Okay, these are Nuvola's claims versus the receipts. That's not what Iagon's docs or the public audit materials say. Iagon's storage flow includes encryption and sharing during upload. Sharding during upload. Now, sharing, that wouldn't be good. Users can only decrypt with their own keys. The sharding docs explicitly describe encryption as a required phase before splitting and distributing data. The secure lake pages reiterates that no one except the uploader can read shards. Nuvola cites final audit summary 2.1.1, but the public version they linked doesn't show the section visible pages discuss it. All right, I don't know. I mean, basically a bunch of weird shit's happening, and they're going to figure it all out in court. I'm sure we're going to get a front row seat as this unfolds, and I'm sure that, like, as this stuff goes through court, a lot of the official court documents are going to get released. Like, this is all going to come out. So whoever's at fault for doing something, we'll see. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that if Iagon is at fault for anything, I'm going to guess those cyclones aren't going to ship yet. And if they are absolutely like, no, we did nothing wrong and we're going to prove it, and Nuvola is going to pay, then I expect to see my cyclone machine pretty soon. Because obviously this is going to be a really touchy situation, and I can't imagine them shipping out hardware. It's such a dramatic time. It's a shame that this is happening like right now, though. But I am wondering, and I don't know what all the claims are exactly. Architecture audits, GDPR violations, all kinds of different things. I'm wondering if any of this has to do with the change in platform of Nuvola, and like why I haven't been able to get any of my tokens off of the platform. Like, is it somebody's fault? Is it my fault? Like, I don't know. It's not much, so I'm not overly concerned with it, but I'm wondering if this is playing some sort of role in any of that by any chance. I have no clue. Hopefully it works out for everybody and they can amicably come to some sort of agreement. Apparently there's been an effort to do that and it hasn't happened yet, so maybe that's off the table. I don't know. Real quick, I'm going to touch on my sponsor, Mevalaxy, the staking solution to your fiber needs. No, I'm kidding. That's not their slogan. Hopefully they don't hate me for that. I'm just being funny. But forget about market volatility. Stake once and earn every day. Now, I'm going to preface this sponsored segment real quick by saying, hey, everything looks great on here. It does. I'm always a little skeptical of these kinds of platforms nowadays. Staking obviously was like the big breadwinner. Everybody was like staking for yield. Back in the day, it feels like if you weren't staking in crypto, you weren't making money. And this is a pretty interesting platform, and it covers, I think, like 30 different assets. And they paid me for the segment. And on top of that, they also gave me what equates to about $4,000 worth of XRP that is now staked. I'm going to update you guys. I'm going to show you. Let me see. Let me see if I can log in. I'll show you. I can't remember if I'm on. No, I'm going to have to do it from the different the different computer. But I'll show you guys what happens. Like, there's nothing on there yet. It hasn't even been enough time. They just did this, I think, last night. But approximately ever so often you get a yield, right? And I'm thinking to myself, if this is legit with these kinds of yields, that would be wonderful, man. I mean, honestly, that'd be great. But I'm like, how does this all work? So what I did was I went to Grok and I said, I just punched in the address, and I'm showing you this so that you guys can start doing this for yourselves to get an idea. Like if you see something new and you're like, I'm not really sure what this is. Mevolaxy.com. Tell me what this site is, what it does, and if it's safe. And so this is basically what it told me. And I'm going to read this and I'm going to let you guys decide for yourselves, because this could be a great way to generate some significant passive yield every day. But anytime I see stuff like this, I always get like BitConnect vibes, or I get Celsius vibes. And it's like some of these platforms work out for people, and then sometimes they hit a wall and then they crumble. And this is sponsored, and but like I always say, you're paying to be on the channel, not for my opinion on it. I'm not saying that this is bad in any way, shape, or form. Just know that they have a lot of media partnerships, and apparently there's a lot of money that's gone into this. They have a trust pilot with 51 reviews, a trust score of 4.7. So they're making headway regardless of what Grok seems to think. But Mevolaxy is not a fiber supplement. It is a cryptocurrency staking platform that operates using MEV, or miner extractable value strategies. MEV refers to the value that can be extracted from blockchain transactions by reordering, including, or excluding them in blocks, often through bots that perform actions like arbitrage or sandwich attacks, front-running trades to profit from price slips. This price allows users to stake assets starting from as low as $30 in over 30 cryptocurrencies, including stable coins like USDT, and promises daily rewards up to 0.87% per day on stable coins, or even higher APYs on volatile assets, independent of market fluctuations, because it's all based on volume. I'm assuming that based off of this structure, the more volume a particular asset has, the more opportunities there are for these MEV bots to do what they do, to basically capture that little fragment, that little change in price, or whatever the difference is in transactions. Rewards are generated by lending user assets to MEV bots that operate on networks like Ethereum, with automatic daily payouts after 24 hours. It emphasizes transparency through real-time transaction tracking, a user dashboard, and claims to have over 10,000 users, $18 million in staked assets, and $2.5 million in monthly payouts. That's I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I can wrap my head around that. $18 million generating $2.5 million in monthly payouts. I guess it could. I mean, when leverage trading, I know that my personal trade volume is probably close to like 2 million a month or something right now. And I'm not trading with anywhere near that much. So I understand how this can get extrapolated over time. The platform itself, positions itself as compliant with regulations, AML, KYC, all that, with registration documents available on site, and it operates from the United States. I find that interesting. Regarding safety and legitimacy, opinions are mixed based on available sources. On the positive side, it has a 4-star rating on Trustpilot from around 50 to 70 reviews, with users praising stable returns, responsive support, ease of use, consistent payouts without delays. So what that tells me is if you use the platform, maybe start with a little safety sum, let it go for a while, maybe pull out all of your yield until you're break even, right? And then let the rest fly and see how long this thing lasts, or does it grow? Does it expand? Does it get better? Play these safe. Even if this is the most legitimate platform out there, I would still, like, we saw what happened with Celsius, man. You just never know. and it could be like the safest thing on planet Earth, and one wrong turn someday, and then it all comes crumbling down. So play this safe if you're going to, but it could be a way to make some yield. Some Reddit posts also describe it as reliable for passive income with no market stress and transparent operations. Well, I don't necessarily believe that everything on Reddit's real. So it is what it is. However, there are significant red flags. Scam Advisor gives it a very low trust score, citing potential scam indicators like hidden contact details and anonymous ownership. So if it operates inside of the United States, I know that there's a team. I know there's a team page. Let's go to that real quick. Contacts, our team, developers. Now, I've seen the team page, so I know there is one somewhere. Where is it at? Oh, down here. Nelson Holloway, CEO. What I find interesting, though, is they don't have their LinkedIn. They just have Twitter pages. And I haven't looked at these yet, but I'm going to guess there's not many followers. 237. Now, apparently, William Chadwick is out of LA. He's only got 237 followers, but he's been on Twitter since 2013. Maybe that's real. I don't know. I haven't verified or validated any of them, so I don't really know for sure. But I typically, when I see development teams, they're always sharing their LinkedIn because those are like their most professional profiles that show where they've been, what they've accomplished in the tech world or the business world. Twitter is cool, X is cool, but it doesn't tell me as much. And those, you can crank and burn those pretty quickly. Another review site labels it an outright scam, highlighting unrealistic profit guarantees, which legitimate crypto platforms avoid due to market risks. There are pros and cons, basically, and I just wanted to be completely transparent about this. You can go and ask Rock the same thing if you want to dive deep into, like, it could be this, it could be that. Nobody knows, right? You're not going to know until it's been a while, and it's either been making people a lot of money. I don't know if any of these individuals have done any interviews on any channels. Maybe I'll have someone. One of these four, maybe Julia, she's the chief marketing officer. She looks surprised to be wherever she's at. Maybe she'd enjoy, being on the channel, and maybe we'll talk about it. But yeah, I mean, that's that in a nutshell. I'm using it. They've staked me. They've provided me some XRP to use on the platform, and I'll update everybody and I'll let you guys know, like, hey, this is what's happening. There's a lot of information on here. Maybe check it out. This whole segment's a lot longer than it's probably supposed to be, but I want to be really transparent about projects like this because they could go one way or the other. And I don't want anybody to just ape in thinking, oh, I'm going to make all this free money, and then, something happens. I want you guys to be well informed, whether it's a sponsorship or not. You guys know how I roll. Safety first. Now, if you haven't yet, make sure you click the link down below, go to wargrim.com and click mint, and mint yourself some NFT boosters if you're planning on playing Wargrim as we continue development, because that's my game, man. That's my jam. You guys need to check out the game. And let's go ahead and take a look at some price action of what's going on. So currently, we're looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's on a 15-minute. I've been really sick too, by the way. So if you hear me sounding like Snuffleupagus, that's probably why. But you can see we got an M up here on the 15-minute. This was back on at 11 a.m. We got the left side vector candle. We got the little dip. We came back up. And that was kind of like basically the fake out for the M formation. And generally, when we see that M, we're looking for levels down. And we did get that first level down, concluded with a vector candle here. You can see the green. You can see a lot of these colors solidifying the position. And then we got a little bit of sideways action until we saw the drop level 2. And that drop level 2 brought us all the way down to 110,371 before we got a bit of a correction. Some more consolidation until we got our third level drop, which means technically we'll see what happens. We'll look at that turn. That turned a little bit. This could potentially be it. Maybe we go sideways through the weekend and we find a W. This could be a W formation happening here. It would basically look something like this, being maybe like this, being, and that's that. And maybe we get this W formation and we start going up for 3 levels or 3 days and we see where that takes us. before we would form another M, maybe somewhere around the 50% Asia, and then we work down even further until we get down to like 106,000 or thereabouts. That is possible. Anything is really possible here because it's Bitcoins and the institutions are controlling everything. But as it sits right now, unless that works the other way, maybe it goes down even further. We could get another leg of an extension to this drop level 3. We'll see. But ultimately, this is how this played out. D1, D2, D3. We should be getting a W somewhere around here. There are other rules associated with this, though, that I don't remember offhand because I'm still new and I'm still learning. I'm sure Annie's probably talked about this on her channel. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But there are ways to kind of verify whether or not this W is forming. We don't really have a vector candle down here. So this could continue moving to the downside, and maybe we don't even get the W until we get somewhere around here, around 106,000 below the low of the week. Then we get that. But generally, what's interesting is that the first drop, this could actually be a D1. This could all be honestly a D1, and then this could be a D2. And then we could be working on a D3. That looks more likely. Let's get rid of this. That looks more likely, honestly. This whole thing, because typically your first drop, and your first and second drops are typically much more substantial than your third. But anything could happen. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I definitely think we're probably going to be hitting 106,000 at some point. Looking at Cardano, obviously following suit, currently trading at about 80 cents right now. It's just shy of 81 cents. I think, now I did draw this on the 4-hour. I drew this earlier this afternoon, so that's interesting if that continues to hold. But really, if Bitcoin, it could be possible that if Bitcoin is going to continue dropping a little bit, I need to put Bitcoin dominance in one of these windows instead of the different time frames. But this could be a W forming on a 4-hour, which is going to be much more substantial to the upside. This could be the basis for a big run up to, like the $9, $10, $12 area. And we could be forming a way up, and we get that first level rise, second level rise, etc. This really looks like a W formation here on a 4-hour for Cardano, and in that doesn't mean that we can't continue dropping a bit lower on smaller time frames. On a 4-hour, we could actually get a whole 3-level drop on a 15-minute, right? And that would still fall in line with this. We could get we could easily break into the 70-cent range, or we could even get a final damage W where the right side is longer than the left and move our way up. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but I mean, we could break into the 70s over the course of this weekend. And maybe this concludes, we confirm our W formation and we start working towards our first rise up. And make sure you check out cryptocrow.io. Always leave me some feedback. Let me know what kind of content you like. I really like sharing thoughts and things I'm doing in the trading world. Apparently, a lot of people really love this article. Fake traders and the real deal kind of goes over prop firms and my experiences playing with prop firms and a lot of these prop firm influencers and things. So yeah. Okay, let's take a look at chat. Let me scroll up a little bit, see what's going on, and see if there's any way I could be of any help to anyone. Charles did say today, let me see if I can pull that up, because I actually have some questions about the whole relationship between Charles and the Cardano Foundation, and I'm sure he's probably talked about it at different points. Interesting looking individual there. That's I meme, therefore I am. All right. Charles is obviously always talking about Cardano Foundation and their woes and the problems and things. And what is this? Coinbase dumping XRP. Data from XRP scan shows, here, let's share this real quick on a whim. We're live. That's kind of what we do sometimes when we're live. I either ramble or I find other cool stuff to talk about on a whim. Coinbase dumping XRP. Data from XRP scan shows Coinbase slashed its XRP stash from 780 million to 199 million in weeks, a 69% cut. Once the fifth largest holder, Coinbase is now 10th. Institutional outflows look to be driving the plunge. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. I wonder if there's going to be something said about, I don't know, maybe institutional exchanges or institutional platforms or whatever, they're only going to be allowed to have so much. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I asked the question on my profile. What is this? Frederick Regard. I never know if these are the fake accounts or real ones. This is a great use case. Shout out. Today, we were proud to announce a brand new pilot project on Finest, the tokenization of premium grade wheat. Okay, cool. Argentina. Basically, the gist, what I'm getting at in a very choppy way, is Charles said he'd come on the channel and talk about it, because I want to understand what's happening with Cardano Foundation. I want to understand more of the relationship, how it started. Like, obviously, you know, the idea is they were going to launch this whole decentralized platform, and, you know, have the leadership decentralized. You've got 3 different firms all kind of working together, supposed to be. And I'm like, well, who empowered Cardano Foundation? How is it that they're suddenly not accountable to anything? Like, why is all this drama possible? Who is Cardano Foundation accountable to? And if Cardano is truly decentralized and its governance is truly decentralized, if Cardano Foundation were truly such a major issue and a hang up to the overall expansion, flow, adoption, everything of Cardano, why can't we as D-reps do something about it? And that's what I don't understand. And I want to have a conversation with Charles about it. I want to understand, why is it that we're a decentralized blockchain now with our own constitution, with our own government, with all of this, but then somehow, some way, Charles is always super frustrated with Cardano Foundation, and the rest of us are somehow powerless to do anything to affect change in that regard. And I'm not saying that Charles is 100% right, and I'm not saying that there aren't nuances to the conversation that maybe aren't public knowledge or whatever. I don't know. But I would definitely like to talk to Charles and like really dive into it. Like, what can be done? What's the problem? How did they get so empowered? Why are they so empowered now? And why can't anything be done about it? Is it a matter of, okay, well, yeah, the D-reps could vote them out of the equation, but they were given a whole bunch of money that then becomes a moot point. They can't be forced to give it back. Well, why can't they? What are the details of that relationship as it is in writing, hopefully, to kind of explain, like, these are your responsibilities. This is how you're supposed to utilize these funds, and they're not being utilized in that way, or up to a level of expectation, whether it's based off of community's expectation, or, you know what I'm saying? There's just so many different levels to this. And I want to know. I want to know what can be done if it's a problem, if they're holding us back. I never really see much from Frederick, honestly, other than like selfies with people. And it's like, that's cool. But I also am smart enough to know that there are always 2 sides to every story. And so, you know, if Charles wanted to come on, just help me understand, answer my questions, we have a discussion about it for the public. Great. If Frederick wanted to come on, hell, if the 2 wanted them to come on together, and like I mediated between the 2 and maybe try to figure out some sort of resolution. Maybe we have Frederick, we have a rep from Emergo, and Charles. Like, would that work? Would everybody agree to that? Listen, I'm nobody, right? I get that. But what I am is, I am a highly invested, completely benign, like, third party, in the sense that I have no problem moderating conversation and basically trying to spearhead something that I think will benefit the ecosystem as a whole. And that's really my only interest. It's not about egos. It's not about, you know, it's not about anything other than trying to find an amicable resolution to this that everyone can benefit from, primarily the asset holders and the builders and those of us who've been a part of this ecosystem since inception, never wavered, never went against it, always working towards the end goal, which is mass adoption for everyone, because of the way we believe in not only the vision of Charles, but the execution of it since inception. And it means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to everyone else out there. And there are other D-reps out there that are smarter than me, more capable than me. I'm just a talking head on YouTube that I share my opinion, and I'm fucking as real as it gets, and that's about all I have to offer in that sense. But I want other people to get involved in this conversation as well. And like, it's time we affect some fucking change, man. Like, we need to do something. If this is a real issue, it's time to act, and it's time to do something. And I'm not talking about, oh, well, let's just go on the internet and talk shit. No, if there's a way we can make something positive come of it, where everybody agrees, everyone understands, and we work towards a goal that benefits us all, let's fucking do it. Let's just stop talking. Let's do it. I'm available anytime Charles wants to get that train started. And, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about that. Big Pay is in the house. Oh, did you mean some Wargrim NFTs? I need to start playing people again. I'll probably do that starting again next week. Good to see you and Charles on good terms again. Yeah, I don't know what terms we're on. I mean, Charles has said he'd come on the channel many, many times in the past, and nothing comes of it. I don't have any bones to pick with Charles. Here's the thing that I don't think a lot of people really know about me. I am so straightforward. Whether it's to my wife, to my friends, I can very easily rub people the wrong way and not even have a clue I am. Everything I do comes from a good place. Fucking everything. Even that picture behind me came from a good place. I didn't want to hurt that fucking guy. And I felt real bad about it after that. I don't like negative energy. I'm just too old. I'm too old for bullshit. I'm too old for bullshit in my life. I'm too old to accept it from other people, and I'm too old to dish it out. And it's just, I don't have the patience for it. And so, I feel like I'm always doing someone a kindness by being, even if it is, I don't know what the word, abrasive at times. I feel like just by me being as honest as possible, I'm doing you a favor. It shouldn't be that way. I feel like everyone should be that way, but it's like, I can say things that may rub you wrong, but I still have nothing but love for you. I still have nothing but respect. And I'm not just talking about Charles. I'm talking about anybody. My wife knows this. It took her some time to understand how I operate, how I think, how I look at things. But it's like, I would lay my life down for anyone around me. You know what I mean? But I might say something that might piss you off. It's just I would go to the nth degree to help people, do whatever. It's like, I am me. It is what it is. You either fucking like it or you don't. I call it as I see it. And it's like, I don't necessarily, I know I pissed Charles off in our chat, but it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. And it doesn't mean that it has to be anything, some drawn out, fucking soap opera or anything. I don't think it's anything like that. I don't have anything against Charles. I don't. I just think that he doesn't know me, in a conversation that we really should have had, either on a video call or something like that. We had in text. And I think I said things that triggered him. And then he said things that triggered me. And we were both like, well, what the fuck? And, it's like, I've been over it. I think maybe he is too. I think he realizes, if he didn't before, that I have a genuine interest in helping him, helping Cardano. This has been a part of my life for how many years now? And I just want to see everybody do better, man. That's it. That's all it boils down to. I want to see everybody do better. I want everybody in a better place tomorrow than we were today. And that's it. And all of this shit with Cardano Foundation or Emergo and Charles IOHK, it's like, what is the real problem, right? Is this, I have my theories as to what I think some of it could be about. And it's just like, how do we resolve it? You know what I mean? Does everybody need to go out and do some fucking fire ants on their hands together and then hug it out like grown men? what exactly does need to happen so that we can get rid of the ego on everyone, right? Is this an egocentric issue, or is this a financial issue? Is this well, this guy's just a flat out money grubbing slacker who doesn't want to do shit. He's already got his money, so now he's just running around parading as though he's doing a bunch of shit he's not. Like, what is the real issue? And that's what I want to know. I want to find out and figure out a way to fix it. Why you guys hate Ukraine? I have absolutely no hate for Ukraine whatsoever. I'm not a fan of Zelensky, but I have nothing. I know people in the Ukraine. Some of my favorite fighters are from the Ukraine. I don't know what's happening in chat as it relates to Ukraine, but I have no problem with Ukraine whatsoever at all. I don't even have any problem with Russia. There are a lot of Russians I like. I mean, I used to tell everybody for years that my wife is a Russian agent because she used to walk around like with resting bitch face and just, beautiful as all hell, fit like a freaking ninja. But she would just, the expression on her face didn't change, and she just looked like, like a Russian agent. Like, I don't know. Russians, they always come out like, oh my gosh, Emelianenko, I mean, he could be clubbing you over the head and like, it just like this. This is his face. He just doesn't, nothing's registering. So, oh, let's see. What's this troll? Crow is horrible at analysis. He has not once been right in his life. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. I'm always right sometimes. Get over it, Matthew. Go visit a channel with somebody that knows more. I know that's in fact not true, but yeah, I don't know. To each their own, man. This chat is always one of the best besides the random anti-ADA trolls from time to time. Yeah, I don't know, man. And it's funny because Dan Gambardello is always talking about the number of trolls in his chat all the time. And it's just like, for whatever reason, whether it's like, whether it is, hold on, I'm just going to get rid of him. Idiot. Whether it is just like paid bots, you know what I mean? That are like, okay, when there's a video about Cardano, go into the comments and just say a bunch of random dumb shit. Like, it's obvious it's a big thing because Dan's been complaining about it for years now, and it only gets worse as the market gets bigger. So, I don't know. If Coinbase was holding this for 8 years, I would have taken profits and sold too. Yeah, I don't know all the details about the XRP thing. I haven't dove into it too deep. I was just kind of sharing the headline because it popped up. So, yeah, I'm seeing comments that it's like obviously not really related to anything being said by me or in chat. So I'm just going to assume it's a bot trying to trigger people. And it's not even about Cardano. It's about Ukraine. It's like, yeah, I don't know. How much ADA does Cardano Foundation still have? I don't know, but I know they got a lot. I know they got a lot early on. So, I have no clue. Eric Ward, what's going on? Smash those. Thumbs up. Thank you, man. Man, I don't think that would work well. I'd rather have separate interviews. I agree. I feel like if you're going to have multiple people in a conversation like that, it has to be face to face. It can't be on like a Zoom call. So I totally agree. I even as I was saying it, I'm like, this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. But I'd be happy to have everyone on individually. And I think everybody knows I'm at least impartial in the sense that like I have no bone to pick with anybody. I would like to see everything resolved somehow. And if there's any way I can help facilitate that, I'm here for it. Crow, if you are a nobody, when am I? I mean, we're all nobodies, it's like, I'm just a dude that talks shit on the internet. That's all. I love your transparency, Crow. Well, thank you, because I really don't know any other way to be. Oh, you did. Okay, and you sent me a pic of what you got. All right. I need to check that out. Sometimes I like sift through things because I get a backlog. I know you know what I'm talking about. You get a backlog of messages, and I just like go through real quick. And so, yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for supporting Big Pay. Big Pay. We are all nobodies in the grand old universe. Yes. And that's basically my point. Like, I know enough about myself and life and the world around me to know I ain't shit. And that's That's what it boils down to. And I think the older I get, the more I accept that. One thing that my wife does a lot about is like ego work. It's not like specifically what we call it or what she calls it, but just like in her pursuit of being a better person, a better woman, a better wife, a better mother, like more healthy and all this other stuff. It's like it's the ego really does play a significant role in how like fucked up we can all be. And it's like the sooner we can just let go of ego, the more we can all kind of heal and start working together. And it's true, and it's difficult, especially for men. I mean, for men, ego is about all we've got. It's like women are wired differently. For men, we just want to like build the world, fuck the world, and then be a part of it when we die. And that's pretty much what pushes us forward. It's accomplishment. It's, it's obtaining accomplishment and being able to show it off. And, women are, it's different. But in that mindset, it makes it very easy for us as men to clash. And I feel like oftentimes when we as men have arguments or relationship issues or whatever it is, it typically spawns from ego in some way, shape, or form. And that's just how it is. It really is how it is. So yeah. Got a gay for Crow in the chat. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Well, thank you. I wake up every day and see this community fighting. Yeah, Timmy, I know. But here's the thing. This is, and I, you know what, this is, and I'm going to close with this because I think this is a really good point. You're right. Every time I wake up and I go on X, I see drama continued. I see people in the Cardano community having it out with somebody else. And I've thought long and hard about this because I thought to myself, why is it that Cardano is one of the only communities that suffers from this? And I'll tell you why. It's also the only decentralized blockchain on the internet outside of Bitcoin. And in that, the general public has effectively been empowered to have an opinion, for one. When you've empowered an entire community of tens, if not hundreds of thousands, or even millions of people to have an opinion, share that opinion, number one, it triggers everyone's ego. Number two, it basically creates a pipeline for dialogue in a million different directions amongst a room full of people that are from different cultures, different ages, different everything, right? So we're basically just, it's like a mosh pit of personality. It's a mosh pit of goals and efforts and all sorts of things, entitlements, egos, you name it. Other blockchains don't have that because they're centrally controlled by generally 1, 2, 5, maybe 10 people. And a lot of the things that they do are all done first behind closed doors and then released after the fact to the public to deal with, for better or worse. Whereas Cardano, everything has been so transparent about it since day one that everybody feels like they are a part of something from the very beginning. And even those who jump in late in the game feel entitled to have this opinion or that opinion because, oh, I'm so fucking smart, or, like whatever the case may be, right? And we start running into these entitlement issues. And then builders on the blockchain who they're entitled because they've been building on a blockchain since before it either had smart contracts or, really good wallets or whatever. So their voice, and they're putting in their own time and money into something. Now they're you get what I'm saying? This just basically booms out. And when you're talking about a decentralized blockchain like this, it's a struggle, and it's ultimately going to be a balancing act, because in a decentralized blockchain like Cardano, we have had all of the downfalls of it, which are the drama, the back and forth, everything being transparent for everybody to see and have an opinion on, right? But without the centralized control for things like marketing, expansion, partnerships, like that stuff is there, but it's not there in the same way I feel it could be with some of these more centralized blockchains that are like, okay, we're going to do X, Y, Z. We're going to pay for this partnership, pay for that partnership, and all of that. And that's how a lot of those other chains grow. It's not the same with Cardano, which is why its price moves differently. Its, its expansion is different. It's doing some of the most fundamentally astounding things in all of blockchain. Yet, so much of it is confused by people that don't fully understand it. A lot of that is because of the narratives projected by its competitors, right? It's just a really difficult thing, which is why I always tell people, if you're into Cardano, your day is going to come. Whether it's because you're in it to make a buck and you're like, I just want to get rich. I bought a bunch of Cardano. I'm just waiting to get rich. I don't really care about the tech. Or because you have a genuine interest, and maybe it's both. Maybe you do care about profiting, but you also care about the tech and the way it's going to empower the world on a global scale and in a variety of different verticals across the board. I'm in the middle. I care about the tech and I want to get rich. I care about the tech and I want to live my life and I want to have a good life. So it's like, but I also understand that, everything we're experiencing right now are growing pains. And that's the way I look at it. This is all a part of the growing pains, and I do believe that we're going to get to a point over time where it all gets resolved, and we're going to find these happy mediums, and we're going to find ways to resolve a lot of the issues that we experience on a regular basis. And a lot of the drama is going to go down. I mean, once Cardano breaks $1, breaks $2, reaches its all-time high, a lot of the bullshit drama we see is going to go away. All the bots that we see in all of our chats, all of that shit's going to go away because everybody at that point is going to know through and through their bots, because they're still going to be programmed to say dumb shit from like 2 years ago, and they're still saying it when we obviously know it's not true. Like that I can't wait for that day, because that narrative is going to come out, unless whoever's controlling these bots decides, oh yeah, it's time to shut down. It didn't work. Let's just pack our bags. So anyway, all I can really say is just be patient. Our day's going to come. I mean, Ethereum of all things just recently broke its all-time high. This is definitely a slower race. There's slower movement, okay? And that's institutions doing what institutions do. They're establishing their control over the environments. They're establishing their control over the flow of the financial volume and everything else. And our day's going to come, because they wouldn't be putting all of this money and time and doing everything that they're doing if they didn't know that at some point they're going to let go of their thumb and just start letting everything flow the way it's naturally supposed to. I feel like a great deal of the crypto market has been suppressed for quite a while. They've had their thumb on that hose for a while now, and they're all accumulating. They're doing what they do, and it's not going to last forever. So that's that. Until next time, guys and gals, make sure you go to wargram.io. And if you're interested, dive a little bit deeper into my sponsor, because, this could be one of the coolest projects out there. I don't know, but you're going to need to use your own judgment on this. These projects, they could be really cool, but Mevalaxi, I hope you're legit. I hope I don't have to send nobody after you. I'm just kidding. But do some digging on these guys. Make sure you're good, confident, and comfortable before you use anything or you send any of your crypto. And hoping for big cash paydays. Always be safe. Always be careful. And if something happens, don't blame anybody but yourself. It is what it is, man. We'll see. But pretty good yields. I don't know if they're too good to be true or not. I need to dive deeper into this whole MEV thing, because I'm pretty sure this is a lot of the volume on Solana. Unless I'm mistaken, it's people doing like these sandwich attacks and arbitrage. I don't know. I never dove too deep into that because it just never interested me. But anyway, check it out. Make sure you visit wargram.io. Go get yourself some booster cards, and then go and check out cryptocrow.io. And for those of you that have been here supporting me for a while, listening to my rants, listening to everything, showing me love and support, showing me those gay for crow flags all over my chat. I love you too. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, crow your coins, and I'll see you again soon.
If it's bull or bear, I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm town